Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Oh, cheers. Welcome to another episode of Manza Media. My fiance and I, Stephanie, are obsessed with Disney. We're obsessed with the Grand Floridian, obsessed with all of that, Walt Disney World. Can't wait to go to Disneyland and find everything Walt Disney did inspiring. I'm going to talk to you about Disneyland records. That is the topic for today. And I want to get this right off the bat. This is not a top 5. I'm just talking about my favorite vinyl records produced by Walt Disney Records, or Disneyland Records, originally established in 1956 by Walt Disney. The studios planned to create a record branch distributing their original songs, and originally I don't have the first Disneyland record. A children's garden of verses was the name. But I want to get right off the bat, this record, I have all the sleeves, I have all the cases for these, the plastic casings, but I'm not going to touch them with my hands, just the edges and the label. But this record I have to talk to you guys about. This is fantastic. Brings me right there. Pirates of the Caribbean brings me right there. You hear the water sounds. You hear that original theme on side. I believe this is side B. Yeah, the Pirates Overture. The Pirates Overture on side B is my favorite. Gosh, you hear that muted, muddled flute. And that it gives you that exotic vibe. So, yeah, I just love this. I love waiting in the queue. That's the music you hear waiting in the queue to get on the ride, at least in Walt Disney World. But yeah, this is a great one of my favorites, because you hear that water sound. You hear it, and it makes you hear the cannonballs into the water. It's so immersive. Now, a lot of these records are always found in stores to be like so torn up and played 1,000 times, scratched up, all that. But you know, if you hunt, you find great pristine looking copies, especially in certain record stores that do have a certain Disney records section. You know, my fiance always goes over to that section, and the song So This Is Love is her favorite. Second favorite, I'm gonna go with Louis Armstrong, the Satch himself, Satchmo himself. This is a record store day release from last year that I feel like nobody picked up. Nobody really picked it up. And yeah, you're gonna get glare because it's in the shrink. And I'm not gonna take it out of the shrink. Sometimes I take them off and fold them up and put them inside, but this I just felt like I'd just keep it as pristine as possible because someday it might be worth something. Now it says Vista Records, Buena Vista. Now that was when Walt's brother Roy, in the early 80s, 1984, I'd want to say, he said, why don't we just make this with Walt Disney Records? And then Buena Vista is the street that the original Walt Disney Studios and today are still on, Buena Vista Street. And so we got Buena Vista Records, no longer Disneyland Records. Disney songs, the Satchmo way. All right, so what do we got? What's it on? This is side A. On Buena Vista Records, Rainbow label. And then we got side B. This has just a bunch of great songs on it. The Chim Chimaree he sings, and When You Wish Upon a Star it's got his trumpet, his influential jazz trumpet. Oh gosh. This Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is great too. You might hear some of this stuff somewhere. You might hear it in movies, you might hear it in background music, often, and it goes unrecognized. This was put together for Record Store Day last year as a compilation because I don't think anything else had been put out regarding Louis Armstrong in that degree. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, and then I'm going to talk about the next one that I put on frequently with Stephanie, and we talk all the time about this. We said, can you put that one on again? Put that record on again. This is the a Salute to Disney, Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops Orchestra. This is You know, one of the best. It's just it starts with the bombastic Mickey Mouse march, and it continues on. It's great. It's great orchestration, great bombastic themes, and it makes you almost want to just book a trip because it makes you feel like, wow, this is a magic place that I want to go instantly. This I picked up. I pick up all these at flea markets, dime stores, antique shops, all of the above. And this is on Polydor, red Polydor label stereo. Put that record back in there, and yeah, that's one of my favorites as well. Just it's more classical based and no words, anything like that, all instrumental, but it makes me feel like I'm there. Next one we're talking about is Walt Disney Takes You to Disneyland. This record, I was told, is very coveted and very valuable by the record store owner a few years ago. This is great. It's great stuff. This is Walt himself speaking to you, kind of giving you a tour of the park, giving you he's proud of his park. He wants to show you it. He wants to release any form of media to get you involved in it and get you to know what it's all about. So the back of it has an awesome, cool, vintage 1960s looking map illustration here. And I just love it. I love it. I love hearing Walt's voice. I always heard this was a repressing, so it's not as valuable. It's got a glossy cover. Yeah, so this isn't the original pressing of this. This is a repress. Look at that beautiful, striking red, deep matte red label. Disneyland. That's beautiful. Yeah, so with the silver, that's just beautiful. Got the silver text there. I'm obsessed with that. That's great. Everything he did was inspiring, and the way he would talk and the way he would, yeah. It just reminds me of my dad a little bit when he talks. My dad is from Missouri, so he kind of gives you a tour around the lands there. Next one we're talking about is Disneyland / Disney World, the official album of both places. And this one we put on all the time. We love this record. I put it on with friends who love Disney. Oh gosh, you got that Rainbow Classic Disneyland label for side A and side B. Yeah, just one of my favorites. This goes through everything: the Country Bear Jamboree, the Enchanted Tiki Room, and then you got the Music of Main Street, and Pirates of the Caribbean, all that. It goes through all those great songs. Oh, my favorite. It starts out with is the Electrical Parade, the Main Street Electrical Parade. It starts out with that track. It just gets you pumped. It gets you wanting to book that next trip. I'm not kidding you. We have put this on and said, let's book. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. And then these last two records, I want to just show the difference of, they did a storyteller series, Walt Disney Records and Disneyland Records. They did this for every movie, it seems. They did this for, Cinderella, Snow White. They did Ebenezer Scrooge, I have that, and all that. Yeah. This is great. I love Fox and the Hound. Great early 70s Disney. See, the variation that they did was they also produced it on a picture disc. They did a picture disc series where this looks like side B. They're showing you side B here. Yeah, just great. So they have both the Storyteller series, which has a little booklet that you can read along the story and with illustrations. Great stuff. And then you got the picture discs, which are also cool, but they can get faded, can get yellow over time. That's one of the things that you have to be aware of. Like, watch this. Look at this. Look at this. This yellowing of this Mary Poppins picture disc. Now, this is great stuff. This is an excellent soundtrack. One of my favorites. One of my all-time favorites. Look at Dick Van Dyke on side B there, just having a rollicking time there. Yep. Step in time, and then you get the The original, this is on Buena Vista as well, so this tells me that this is perhaps pressed in the early 80s. And this is all just this tells you about everything. The synopsis of it, ins and outs, quite beautiful. Striking, cool 60s illustration on the front there on the cover. Beautiful. This is a great cover. You could just frame this alone. I love the Sherman Brothers music. I love everything about this. Feed the Birds. Oh, that track. Though it is sad, Feed the Birds. It has a sad undertone to it, melancholy. But I love that. I love the power in that, the emotion. It's great stuff. So those were my favorite Disney records. Cheers. And I will catch you on the next episode. And until then, you can catch me lounging to a melody. Take care. I want to sincerely thank you folks for tuning into this episode. If you like what you saw, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Manzamedia Art and follow me on Manzamedia on any other platform. I have an Etsy shop if you like prints of any artwork that you saw, and I'll catch you guys next week. I encourage you to like and subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Thank you.